love it. I never knew that.
But I was
Makes
under the
sense.
tutelage,
It makes sense.
It does, we figured that out. Some people, if you're really tired, of course, you would use a rack. Sunday was the day of
Well, that's when we
exchanging.
turned the whole hotel over.
That's right.
And those were the days that I worked troubleshooting in the lobby. And you talk about schlepping. I had a couple, the girl at the front desk called me over. She said she had a problem with these people. And I took them and I sat them down, and then I went back to the reservation desk and saw what was happening. They didn't like the room, so I had a list of rooms, and now I'm taking them from here to there. And I finally take them to the Eddie Cantor, and oh, they loved the room. So now they were on the second floor, and I'm preceding her down the stairs, and I hear her say to her husband, "You've got to tip her, she's been so nice." Now I'm saying to myself, I'm not going to take them. Well, how am I going to do this?
Right.
So her husband offered me the money. I said, "I'm terribly sorry, I can't take it." He said, "Why?" I said, "Because my mother wouldn't like it."
What a great story.
And then I told them who I was. And for people who were going to leave and never come back, they came back for 7 summers.
You know, that's a great story, and it also reveals that something that, in this instance, they didn't know who you were. But in other instances, the guests could come up there and say, well, you know, I want to speak to Elaine Grossinger, I want to speak to so-and-so, and the family was in evidence, they were there, and it felt as though it was a family and there was a kinship there between the guests and the management,
And
which was...
especially my mother. I mean, first of all, she knew everybody's name.
Right.
Great.
What are your earliest memories when you said you were a troubleshooter? You grew into being a troubleshooter.
Yeah,
But
well,
what about your earlier memories in that role?
when I first started out getting active in the hotel, I was in grade school, and I used to sit down in the switchboard room and plug the things in, and that was marvelous. And then I graduated to being a key girl at the service desk or the front desk. And then I worked up at the golf club with my cousin Ruth Grouse Isis when she was the secretary up there, and I was her assistant.
What constitutes being a key girl?
You give the keys, you say, "May I have the key to room 402 or something?" And the mail. You know how we had the little pigeonhole?
Yes, of course, I remember.
And so I took out the mail or the keys and gave it to you. And it was a time when you didn't have to ask people for identification to get that key.
I remember, yes, now when you mentioned about the keys, it was all based on trust, of course.
Of course.
The idea of someone coming up and taking the wrong key willfully would have been unheard of. But I remember a time when the bell captain was McMahon and
Yes.
Johnny Shelton.
Right?
And a lot of the keys were behind the bellhop's desk.
Yeah, well,
and
that's
the
what...
bellhops. And then somebody said, move them over to the other side of the lobby. This is a major corporate decision, right?
Oh, yes.
To move the keys to the
From
other
the
side.
right to the left, and
Right.
then it was behind the reservation desk.
Yes, yes, where Betty, I think, would then...
Betty
give them out.
Maywood.
Betty Maywood. And I think some of the management must have felt that it would be a distraction for the bellhops, because bellhops are basically yaks. They're basically brutish people who pick up the suitcases and don't have the finesse to smile and give the key to the customers. You're dealing with basically animalistic characters.
And not only that, that people would have to wait. It was too congested, whereas at the front desk, they were able to be serviced quickly.
Right.